Hello, this is Christy here with Little Roots Ranch, and today I wanted to talk about something that we're going to trial on our farm that might be beneficial to anybody who wants to give it a try as well. Obviously there will need to be a follow-up video to see how it goes or whatnot, but today I want to talk about sunflowers and beans. The reason I almost slipped and said corn is because today's video and my experiment is modeled after the Three Sisters, which indigenous people, what they would do is plant corn, beans, and squash together. Now, a lot of people have tried that concept with mixed results, but I find the error that a lot of people make is by growing things that are ready to eat right away. The premise of growing this way is to have everything basically harvested once. And so it grows into, say, a food jungle, and you go in once and take out everything. So what I mean by that, as far as the misconception is, if you plant sweet corn, you can't just leave sweet corn on the stalk. If you plant, beans or peas that you eat fresh, you can't easily get in and out of there. And of course, if you're doing zucchinis, or for your squash doing zucchini, then it doesn't have that spreading habit and sun blocking ability that it needs. So some people might be like, well, what's the purpose of putting those three things together? Well, I'll tell you. So the corn is supposed to grow tall and strong, and something for the beans to crawl up. And meanwhile, the beans they produce their own nitrogen, and so they are sharing that with the corn, which is a heavy feeder. And the squash is there to shade out the sun and thus shade out the weeds and things like that. And so together, the three things grow in harmony. But usually people are planting the wrong items in with the, together. And so what I mean by that is, so even though the three products listed are the Three Sisters, the way that indigenous people use them is they used corn, like dent corn, or like a corn that you would make for a flour, and not a fresh eating corn, something that could dry on the stalk. For beans, they used like actual beans that you would dry and save and eat during the year. And for the squash, they used winter squash that would ripen on the vine as well, and come in and clear the whole thing in one fell swoop. So I think that's a big misunderstanding that a lot of people have, and when they don't have success with the Three Sisters, that's usually why. For me, what I'm doing is a take on a small little plot that I carved out of some overgrown grass and weeds. What I'm doing though is, so I only have sweet corn for seeds that I grow here. But what I have is commonly known as, I've heard it as the other third sister, or even the fourth sister, is I'm growing mammoth sunflowers. Those are the large, they're not ones for like a beautiful cut bouquet. They're the big ones where you get the sunflower seeds. Also, spoiler alert, chickens love them, which is exactly why I grow them. I like eating them too. It's a lot of work, and hard on the thumbs, but I'm growing them for the chickens. And so what I'm going to do is plant fairly thickly the mammoth sunflowers to grow up nice and tall, and they will get very tall, like 10, 12 feet or whatever. And then I'm doing three different kinds of beans: a black bean, a cowpea, and a pinto bean. And then I'm not doing a squash only because I already have a squash garden. I have a ton. Squash is my favorite thing on the whole planet, and so I have tons of winter squash and pumpkins and stuff that we're growing. So that's independent, but what I am going to try and do is see how the sunflower and the beans work together. So I'll show you the plot. The reason I'm not there right now is it's near my ducks, and my ducks love me so much that they like to communicate that by yelling it at me. So anytime I am near my ducks, my sweet babies just quack up a storm, and I don't think you'll be able to hear me. Watch, I go over there now with the camera and they'll just be silent, and then I'll look ridiculous. But anyways, so I'll take you over to that little test plot. And of course, this is one of 2 videos because I will have to give it some time for everything to grow up and all of that stuff. But my plan is for it to basically be a dried garden, meaning that I will use everything, come harvest everything when it's dry. I'll pick the sunflower heads and store them in a shed and feed them to the chickens during the winter. And for the beans, I'll feed those to myself in the winter. And depending on how it works out, I might do a larger plot. Again, it's just a small test garden. I'm in where I'm at with my farm now. It's a lot of like testing how things are working out and how they are growing together and getting the feel for how things are. I like to think I know a lot, but then I'm always feeling like I know so little. And so by just trying out little things and seeing what works and what grows well and all of that, 1, it's fun, and 2, hopefully I can learn a lot and of course share that through these videos and my experiments. But yeah, so we'll head over there right now. I was going to ask if you've ever grown, sorry, I've got an itch. I don't know how to edit, otherwise I'd edit that out. As little I know about farming, I know even less about videography. So sorry about that. But I was going to ask if you've ever grown the 3 Sisters, or a variation of that, and if you found anything, any tips or things that you learned, or what kind of plants you grew, as far as did you grow stuff that dries or stuff that you would harvest fresh? Did it not work out? And especially to my fellow farmers, have you done that on a large scale? I'd love to hear feedback on that. So go ahead and comment below and let me know, but I'll take you over to the patch. Not that there's anything to really see yet, because I just seeded it, but wanted to let everybody know what I was working on. So real quick, I did want to show my ducks. They're being a little quiet right now. I don't know how long that'll last for, but you can see I've got cherry tree in there. There's their pond. Usually they're out running around, but today I left them inside. But yeah, so quick view of the ducks. Okay, so this is the small plot where we're having our little test garden right now. And so we really struggle with rabbits, birds as well. We've got all these beautiful trees and we've planted a lot of native plants, which brings in the animals, and we love that. But we also need to protect the crops that we are trying to grow. And so that's why I have the agribon over it, and also keeps chickens or ducks from pecking the little babies that grow up out. And everybody loves beans and sunflower shoots because they're amazing. We all know that. So anyways, I don't know if you can see the stick. There's one here and one, I can't line up there. There we go, right there. And so I've got 3 different types of beans and then the mammoth sunflowers all throughout. It's a smaller patch because obviously I'm just trying out and see what it's going to be like. And yeah, so soon I'll have another video that will talk about how well that turned out, or not, I guess. And yeah, and I'm looking forward to having beautiful sunflowers and giving them to the chickens all winter. Thank you for watching.